are much more receptive to our music. But in Newfoundland, they're not, except for this nucleus of people in St. John's. Okay, well, I know you're going to find a few outside of St. John's, but basically, there's not that many people into it. So we're hoping to keep just playing that kind of music so that it catches on.
I think we'd like to let people know that traditional music is not dead in Newfoundland, and especially the young people, and try and get them interested in it. A lot of them don't know what it is, and it's a shame, really. It's their heritage.
My interest basically is in getting this popular again, as it were, in provincially, in our own province, right?
It seems that people up to the age of 13 and 14, or past the age of 13 and 14, have a very fixed idea of what they want and what they want to hear, and, you know, they're not going to go beyond that, and they can't relate to a song like Mary Groves or something like that. But children, I'm very interested in teaching children because they are the most malleable and they are still receptive to different kinds of music. And I think that this is where we have to start. We have to start in the educational process and get them at an early age.
It'll be some time before actually there's a revival of any substance. I think again that revival will only occur if we can educate people as to what traditional music is all about.
I don't think it's a traditional revival on a large scale. Like seems to always been centered in St. John's as a small group of followers, you know, who enjoy the traditional music. And this small group sort of gives us, you know, support.
Or people years ago wouldn't think of any kind of revival because it's all they knew. Before all the Canadian and American influences and attitudes especially, came through to Newfoundland through the media, through radio and television. So now it's this generation that's finally seeing through this. And thank God we still have a few of the older generation. I'm talking about people now who are in their 80s and 90s around to collect it from it and save it and hang on to it.
I get a feeling when I'm playing with the band on stage that the whole band is working as a group, and now that I'm more familiar with the music, along with playing my own instrument, I can tune into everybody else. I mean, just look at the reactions of people's faces and people dancing, and just gives you sort of a high when you're playing on stage.
I was so grabbed by the energy of the music and the vitality of the music that I said, yeah, this music is definitely for me.
Once I sort of got the playing in my blood, well, that was it.
Definitely hooked on traditional music.
It has guts, you know? It has a bottom end in it. It's a lot of fun. It really gets people going, if they'll let us. And this is what we're trying to do.
Regions of the country, hard country where people live a hard life. At this time of year, the wind off the Atlantic whips up a blizzard and adds to the isolation. Rufus was born here in a small coastal outport in 1899. As the oldest in a family of 8 children, he had to go to work when he was just a boy. He fished, trapped, and logged, and over the years he raised 11 children of his own. Despite his hard life, perhaps because of it, he always found time for fun. And for Rufus, fun was playing the fiddle. He learned how from an old uncle.
He was playing at a dance in our house, you know, in the kitchen. So I spent my night stood up alongside of him. And I thought to myself, well, I'm going to try to learn how to play the fiddle.
How come?
Well, I don't know. It seemed like I like to be doing. I like them playing. I like to be able to play too, like.
Rufus learned how to play on an old fiddle that belonged to his grandmother. He was a shy 11-year-old, and he didn't want anyone to hear him, so he always practiced by a window so he could look out and see if anyone was coming. That's how he developed his unique way of holding the fiddle. As a boy, he had to tuck it into his right shoulder so the bow wouldn't hit the window glass. Gradually, Rufus picked up confidence, and then he started to pick up the old tunes.
Father knew a few tunes I learned from him, and then old Uncle John Peter Payne. That was another one. He used to play the fiddle. I learned a lot of tunes from him. So that's the way you learn, from one place to the other, see?
It's all by ear.
All by ear, yes. No, I don't know any music. I don't know the first thing about it.
There was a time when you couldn't have found anyone in these parts who hadn't danced to one of Rufus's jigs or reels.
Back in the 1920s and 30s, Rufus was so popular, hardly a night went by when he wasn't playing his fiddle in somebody's kitchen or at some party somewhere. Rufus often would walk 15 to 20 miles up the coast, fiddle in hand, to entertain the people.
If I worked all day, and the young ones come and ask me to go and play for a dancer in the night, that night, well, I feel like I had to go. I didn't like to say no, because I liked fun when I were growing up, and liked music, and I thought they was the same.
But times changed. The jukebox replaced the fiddle. Bars replaced the kitchen dances. Rufus and his fiddle were all but forgotten. How did you feel about that when they weren't asking you to come anymore?
Well, I didn't know what to do about it. I didn't feel like they were going to want me anymore. So, and I couldn't go and tell them I wanted to go and play for them, because they was dancing different dances by this jukebox, you know, and the band's playing. There was waltzing, and just all of them up in the middle of the house of a bundle, you know, one over the other. There's no such thing as a square dance after that, with that playing, like we used to play for.
Must have been pretty sad to see that.
Oh, yes, so it was.
Some put away their fiddles forever, but not Rufus. He loved it too much. And sure enough, in the early 1970s, there was a revival of interest in traditional Newfoundland music. Once again, the sound of the fiddle can be heard along with the screech of the gulls in this fishing village just outside St. John's. Kelly Russell is determined to preserve Rufus Ginchard's music forever. So far, he's recorded 60 of his jigs and reels, and for the first time ever, the tunes have been written down and published, so other musicians who read music can learn them.
Got it. That doesn't seem like it'd be too hard to learn.
Shouldn't be, not for you.
Let's see if I can get it.
Shouldn't think you'd have much trouble.
See if I can get it.
Kelly knows he's hardly tapped the vast reservoir of tunes. Some had been long forgotten, even by Rufus, but now he's remembering them. Like his old uncle, Rufus is passing the music on to another generation.
There you go.
Yeah, okay. Try it again. The melodies themselves are different. You won't hear those tunes. I would say about 80% of Rufus's repertoire are unique tunes, and you know, once Rufus goes, the music goes with him. So it's important for somebody to learn it.
Bluebird. A bluebird.
For Rufus and Kelly, the traditional tunes are a common bond. They've played, together with guitarist Jim Payne, in England, France, and Japan. And they were on the stage at Expo 86 in Vancouver. An amazing accomplishment for a man who didn't leave Newfoundland's northern peninsula until he was 72 years old. For Rufus, the music opened up a whole new world.
Well, I didn't know what to think of the first plane I got aboard of, but I was not scared of getting aboard of her, you know. But now I love to get aboard the planes. When I go somewhere, I don't want to go no way else, only on plane. Because he loves flying, loves it.
Recently, he traveled to Ottawa to receive the nation's highest tribute, the Order of Canada.
He has been in the forefront of the revival of the art of traditional fiddling, ensuring, through the teaching of a new generation of fiddlers, that traditional Newfoundland fiddle playing will survive. Mr. Ginchard.
Well, I think that's it. That's the biggest compliment to the Order of Canada. That's for a very honorary degree, you know, that is. But honoriest degree you can get in Canada.
For he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, which nobody can deny.
Even when the party's for him, Rufus can't keep the fiddle off his shoulder. After playing for 76 years, he still won't say no when you ask him for just one more tune.
music has been his life, really. You know, you can see it in his eyes when he's playing, and there's really a spark that you've seen, and then